crazy, it's not a bug. It's a feature of your existence. I have nerve damage in my hands/legs and I like to flex on people. I can't feel a lot of normal sensation. Sometimes in some pretty stupid ways. Not gonna lie. I am immune to floor Lego. No gag reflex. No shame. I'm epileptic. It's technically a bug, but it makes me immune to the draft registration status until they figure out a bug fix. Had open heart surgery 2 years ago and swapped my mitral and aortic valves with mechanical ones that make an audible click with each heartbeat that can be heard several feet away. Great at parties, awful during exams. I can crack my neck ridiculously loud and it's hilarious to scare people with. I am almost always in sleep mode. I call it entertainment Tourette's. Random words or phrases make me automatically respond with lyrics and quotes. I can read 1000 words a minute. I have tested it multiple times. However, I can only write at normal speed. Therefore I get through assigned readings really quickly. I can and have read 30 to 40 pages on the 15-minute bus ride to class, but taking notes takes hours. Fun party trick though. Procrastination. Stop it you. The curve in my D helps me hit the right spot. Childhood friends with a guy that had a mental or chemical imbalance where he could literally not get depressed or sad. He was always fun around due to his upbeat personality. His doctor wanted him under a microscope, but his parent went with his wishes and avoided extensive testing. I mean, it was at a point where he was a guinea pig to the university. In the end it was essentially like he had no anxiety towards things in life. He disliked what he disliked and was down for everything and anything else with 110% enthusiasm. He was always invited to the party. I have a type of diabetes called DIY type 2, which means my blood sugar is always a little bit higher. It also means that I generally have more energy and don't really get hungry or gain weight, as I don't absorb the sugar from most of my food. I take insulin to body build, and then when I want to shed fat I just go off it and my body will naturally start burning up my glycogen stores without dieting. The best part is that it doesn't even reduce my life expectancy. My appendix tried to murder me and had to be removed, so I'm 5 to 10 grams lighter. My dyskinesia. Very rare movement disorder. When the bug occurs, I'm left with wildly twitching arms or legs for varying amounts of time. If I were a program, that would absolutely be not a bug. It's a feature. Bad puns. They serve as an entry-level barrier for people who want to be friends with me. I have chronic sleep problems due to having bipolar. I've currently been awake for 5 days and I'm not even slightly tired. There are a lot of hours in the day when you have to fill 100% of them with awake things. Neurological disorder from an injury when I was younger. Can't feel any heat in my hands/a lot of my forearms, but I'm a cook so it comes in handy, and it's also really entertaining to duck with the new kid by putting my hand on the flat top while it's still cooling and watching them go white. The mild case of cerebral palsy gets premium parking, and the homosexuality. I was born with a severely misaligned jaw, congenital malocclusion, that got visibly worse after puberty. It caused migraines, TMJ pain, and I couldn't even connect my jaws to bite a piece of pizza. When I got surgery to fix it, they sawed out a chunk of my jaw and replaced it with synthetic bone made of coral. I'm a ducking cyborg mermaid. I can go fully nocturnal in a matter of days. Every other day. Help. I have a really good memory, which in turn helps me to be a really good storyteller when I'm recalling events. The thing is that it sometimes freaks people out because I remember really random details. For example, my friend was telling me about a childhood friend of his named Greg who was getting this really sweet job in tech. I said, "Oh, is that the same Greg I met that we have a right at his parents' house on Winchester Street?" He was like, "Yes, how the duck do you remember that? That was like 6 years ago." I don't know exactly why I remembered that detail, but that was the first and only time I had actually met him in person. Since I was a kid, 6 to 7 I could belch/burp on command, and after a few weeks playing around with it my parents took me to the doctor because they thought I had some stomach gas problem. When the doc asked me about it I told him it was my talent and proceeded to belch the ABCs. As you may expect, my mother was not thrilled about my new skill. I have an athletic heart. My resting heart rate is usually right around 39 beats per minute. I had to make a trip to the ER a while back due to a concussion. They took my heart rate and blood pressure and my heart rate was only 35 BPM. The ER doc immediately wanted to send me for EKG and ultrasounds. I was like, I'm good man. I've dealing with this my entire life. The upside to it is my heart doesn't have to work as hard when I'm working out, so I have naturally longer stamina than most people. I've got congenital ptosis. Weak eyelid muscles. Can't open my eyes fully. Can't roll my eyes either. I always look like I'm half asleep or something. And bearing in mind I'm ethnically Chinese, like I'm extra bonus stereotypically Asian. I've been called sleepy, small eyes, I've heard them all. Thing is, it turns out, it also means my eyesight is better than it should be. Theoretically, I should be wearing glasses with thicker lenses. More degrees. More correction. But I don't need to, because my effective vision is improved by the fact I'm always squinting. That's my secret, I'm always squinting. ADHD, predominantly inattentive, formerly just referred to as ADD, my best understanding explanation of what it's like. It's not that I can't focus on things, it's that my brain is constantly seeking to be rewarded with dopamine. If something really interests me, I'll hyperfocus and work on it for unhealthy amounts of time, to the point I'll neglect things like eating or sleeping. But when I'm just attempting to accomplish things like a normal person, the brain starts looking for the dopamine it isn't getting, and anything more interesting appealing becomes a distraction. The result is that I know at least a little bit about a huge range of subjects, most of which is not at all useful in my day-to-day life or career. I'm also really good at getting inspired to start projects, working like crazy on them, then not touching it again for months at a time, usually until I have to clean up that workspace. But damn dude, if you want to talk about building computers, 3D printing, obscure cars and cool ways to build them, Honda engine chassis codes and parts compatibility, RC cars, electric vehicles, from an enthusiast standpoint, suspension design, or about a million other things that involve electronics or mechanical stuff in some way, I'm your guy. I generally have to temper my enthusiasm, interest, knowledge level a bit when talking to people, because it absolutely comes off as if the current topic is my life's obsession, when in reality I have dozens of topics I'll get similarly animated about. Being left-handed means I have a small advantage when it comes to sports, and I can drive with my left hand on the wheel, which means I can use air conditioning. Meanwhile, tons of tools are kinda hard to use and the can opener is my greatest enemy. I can zone out and daydream through almost any task and still complete it. Need to do a 5k word essay? No worries. Doing a 24-hour race on Gran Turismo? Easy. Trying to make conversation with some prospective employers? Pretend I'm not even there, cause I'm not. Alopecia. I have no hair on me at all except for eyelashes. It's like you copied and cut my hair right from my head. Honestly, I consider it asshole repellent, cause if you're rude to someone without hair, you're probably rude to everyone. Like, we've had a dude steal towels from us after seeing us go into the water where I was clearly in view when I was 4. You have to be an asshole to steal from a 4-year-old bald kid. It's also helped me weed out who's still worth talking to in my family. And honestly, it's a blank canvas and it's fun to make hats or put on fake tats. I also have this weird way of charming vehicles and machines into behaving. Our car wouldn't start last month and my mom is freaking out and starting to tell me to do something, and I just touched the ignition and, for some reason, everything worked fine again. Several things come to mind. Going bald in my late 20s. Save money on haircuts and hair products. Tone deaf. Never have to sing in karaoke. Big thing in my country. Colorblind. Can always ask people the color of parts in a board game.
Lazy, always find shortcuts in anything you do. Short, never ask to reach for stuff. Needed glasses at 30, look smarter. My ability to disappoint everyone.